not really didn't want to seem to have it. A lot of people who are on benefits have babies and they don't work and they don't get maternity pay, but they don't ever really contribute to the system. And one from somebody who doesn't give a name says, that last interview, I think she's at the wrong conference. You may well be right. One piece of information for you. This was discovered at the weekend by Harry Cole from The Sun. The 395 tonnes of gold flogged off by Gordon Brown at the bottom of the market would be worth today, guess what, 22 billion quid. So much for the black hole. Let's talk to Deirdre Kelly, White D. Very good morning to you, Dee.
Good morning, Mike.
Thanks very much indeed for joining us. I mean, people are very excited about having you on the show. I didn't actually watch Benefit Street, I'm afraid to say, but I did see you in Big Brother. But you're not happy, are you? Once again, I mean, you're yet another person not happy with Sir Keir Starmer. Tell us why.
Do you know what it is? It's kind of like... things are just getting worse. We actually run a community hub now in one of the, that you could say is probably a very highly poverty-stricken area of Birmingham.
Right.
And we're just seeing increased numbers on we're open 3 days a week. And it's just getting so sad to actually see the amount of vulnerable people that are coming in that actually need help with food, with advice, with company. And sadly, you know, it just looks like it's going to be getting worse for them, Mike.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, every politician that ever comes into power threatens a crackdown on benefits, and usually it ends up with more people being on benefits. I mean, they don't normally actually crack down on anything, do they?
Well, they sort of, they try, but again, it's like you said, no matter what happens, it seems to just get worse. And I do think, you know, a lot of people, they kind of went with Keir Starmer because they thought Keir Starmer was saying what they wanted to hear,
right.
Protecting the elderly, you know, cracking down on knife crime and youth violence. And lo and behold, again, it's like they've been elected and, you know, it just seems like it was all a mass lie.
Funny that, isn't it? I mean, extraordinary. I mean, who would have thought it? Politicians not telling the truth. But tell me, what is it about where you are now that there's a problem? I mean, what is it that people don't have? Because, I mean, I'm looking at a piece that was running in the Mail a little while ago, 10 years on, Benefit Street, you know. And one of the things I noticed is an awful lot of cars on the street where they've taken pictures. I mean, there's an awful lot of rubbish as well. But, I mean, there's people that presumably, I mean, how poor are people, I suppose, is my question.
I think people are kind of like very poor, but again, I think what I've sort of always argued is the fact that people who actually work do seem to be worse off. You know, there's no disputing that in any way, shape or form. But again, it's kind of like, and they're the ones that are sort of being hit, even though, you know, there are people, there's so many different types of benefits, isn't there? This universal credit. Universal credit, the majority of people that it helps is people on low income wages. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's the reality of it. And they are hit the worst and they are struggling the worst. You know, we have people come into our food bank and a majority of them are actually working families. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, so what can you kind of do with a system where people are working and they're the ones that are struggling the most?
Right. That's the problem, isn't it? And that's what's wrong with the system, because his idea is to get more people who are on benefits into work. But where are there jobs for them? I mean, what jobs can they do?
I do think there are jobs for them, but the problem is there a salary out there that they could actually realistically live on? You know, the amount of unskilled people out there as well, which is sad. You know, you've got these young kids now that are leaving college, leaving universities, they're getting all these degrees. There's no jobs out there for them with their degrees. And then you've got, you know, the people that the government is trying to get back into work. They're sort of, you know, had no training or probably never ever had a job. But again, it's about you realistically have to find a job with, you know, where you can earn enough money to live on. And it's kind of like, you know, in this day and age, it just seems so... There isn't a job out there where people can live comfortably with the cost of living crisis, the energy crisis, with everything that's constantly being thrown at them. And it's just kind of like you're fighting a losing battle.
Do you reckon a lot of people stay on benefits just because they're better off then?
I wouldn't kind of say they stay on benefits because they're better off, because again, with everything going up, this is what I'm saying, it's sort of like, it's a no-win situation for everyone, Mike, because the people that everyone just looked at and were living cushy on benefits, they're kind of like not living cushy now, do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of, they can't afford to shop, do you know what I'm saying? It's like, they can't afford to live as cushy as probably portrayed on the show.
No, I'm sure. Good to talk to you anyway. We'll have to check back in with you from time to time to see how things are going. Deirdre Kelly there